The information, comments, and recommendations contained herein are not within the scope of investment consultancy. Investment advisory service is provided within the framework of the investment advisory service to be signed between the customer and beekeeping institutions, per education companies, non-deposit accepting banks. My comments on this channel are only my personal comments. These comments belong to you. Your financial situation and risk return may not be appropriate. Therefore, no investment should be made based on the information and comments on my channel.
I wish everyone a good work and a good week. We are leaving September behind this week. We will also enter October, and what developments will I follow in the money markets this week, especially what in financial investment instruments. I will follow the band intervals. Which band intervals should investors follow this week? I will try to interpret this side for you. Borsa Istanbul 100 index is at the level of 97.44 points. Our time is now 10.30. The 97.50 point level in the Borsa Istanbul 100 index is a strong support level. If this level is broken downwards, it will be 96.50 points below. As I continue my positive expectation, I expect it to try 10,000 again this week. My expectation in the Borsa Istanbul 100 index in the 6-month period is 12,000 points. I will continue to see the decreases as buying opportunities. Inflation data in domestic markets in Turkey on Thursday. There are sharp declines in inflation data, according to Flux data. The rate of increase has stopped, and now it is entering a downward trend. I think there is a strong possibility that this will contribute positively to the stock market. This week is very important both in terms of data and There are speeches of the presidents of the central banks. There will be a sharp fluctuation in the markets. Well, this evening, Fed President Pav also made statements, but when we look at the general picture, since there are factors that will affect the stock market in a positive direction, I will continue to see the declines as a buying opportunity in the medium and long term. The dollar exchange rate was at the level of 34 liters 17 kurur. It completed last week, at the level of 34 liters 16 kurur. My expectations for the movements continue. I will continue to see the declines as buying opportunities. I have often stated in my other videos that the figures below the 34 lira level will not be permanent. The exchange rates are generally positive not only in the dollar, but also in other investment instruments and other currencies. My expectation for the end of the year continues. Especially now, we will start the last quarter of the year this week. I can say that my expectation on the upward foreign exchange side continues in the last quarter of the year. The euro-dollar parity is at the level of 11,165. Currently, the Euro's TL exchange rate is having more active days, compared to the dollar, because the dollar is stable. The euro-dollar parity movements at TL, since it affects the exchange rate more, the TL exchange rate currently has a level of 38 liters 18 kurur. I will continue to follow the 38-30 lira range here. If the euro-dollar parity falls below the 11.11 level again, I will be following the 1.150 support level, especially this week. As you know, we have entered the quarter. We have entered the 10th month. For the next 3 months, 11 and 12 euros are at the dollar parity, 112,250. Then try 1.13, it may do it until the end of the year, but again 110.50. I will continue to follow the support level. Ounce gold has started the week horizontally and stable. It is currently at $26.59. Broadband I set to follow the ounce of gold fluctuating in the range. There is a level of $25.80 below. There is a level of $26.80 above. It continues to hover in the range of $25.80 and $26.80. Personally, I and my friends continue to maintain our dollar position, but do not exit the gold you have. It is too early to sell or exit gold. I think it is a period again in the last quarter of the year. There is a very strong possibility of trying $20,078 by the end of the year. It is now above the $2,600 level and up to the $3,000 level. This path is now open. Since the doors of the $3,000 level have been opened, I think investors who hold gold should not sell, but they have new dollars in their hands. Investors who are willing to buy can consider the figures below the $2,600 level as a buying opportunity and a gradual buying opportunity. Our slogan for 2020 is the same. Gold will experience its golden age again in 2025, friends, so it is useful to see the declines as a buying opportunity, but we continue to maintain our bearish expectations on the ounce side. If you have $1 or a lot of money, follow the ounce gold to buy gold. You can evaluate the sags below the $2,600 level as a gradual buying opportunity. When we close our position below, I will tell you here. I would say that we have closed our position on the 10 gold side with our friends. But the gold in your hand. I think it is too early to sell. Gram gold TL price started next week at 3070 liters level. There is a strong possibility of a decline due to this reason. Well, I will be following the 2980 to 3080 lira range again. The decline under the ounce may support the decline in gram gold. That's why my opinion about falling below the 3,000 lira level is the same. My expectation for the decline is the same. Since we expect a level of $25.80 under the ounce, gram gold a retreat in the TL price to the level of 29.80 lira. A further retreat below that level will be a possible outcome. Those who are looking for an opportunity to buy gold will hold a wedding. Those who have gold debt should follow the ounce gold again. When it falls below the $2,600 level, gram gold will also fall below the 3,000 lira level, this time again gradually. I can tell you the buying points, but as of now, the probability of profit sales for the short term is very high in ounce gold and gram gold. It rose quickly and aggressively after the level of $25.30. It even rose rapidly from the level of $24.80. It rose up to the level of $26.80. There is 1 ounce of gold. It rose by $200. $100 profit sales need to come in this direction, dear friends. As I say every time, silver remained cheap compared to gold. Silver is still cheap compared to gold. It is currently at the level of $31.57. Currently, the ounce price of silver is $30.50. I will be following the $30 support level. I have $100,000. If I have $100,000, should I buy gold or silver? I definitely have the answer to this question. Percent IC dollar percent is silver. I often state that the process on the silver side is quite cheap. If God does not embarrass me, my expectation for the end of the year is 37 lira $37.9. The number that came out of my mouth throughout the month is $37. I continue to wait for the ounce price of silver at 37 liras and on the gram side. I hope we will not be embarrassed, and at the end of the year, we will see the level of 37 liras and $37. The gram price of silver due to the dollar may test the previous level before silver's $37 level. So, it is like this. When the gram price of silver tests the 37 lira level, we see the $33 to $34 level in the ounce price of silver. This time, when we see the $37 level in the silver ounce price, we may try the gram price of silver above 40 lira. That is, our expectation will come true before the gram price of silver is compared to the 10 price of silver. Our slogan for this year was $37 37 lira on the silver side. I hope it will not embarrass the Lord. We will close these levels before the end of the year. Since our expectation on the gold side has come true, we close the gold page in 2024. 3,000 to 3,500 lira range. Well, $2,600, $3,000 range. We close the page on this side. Now it is silver's turn. Our expectation in silver when this happens, this year will be over for us. The barrel price of Brent oil is at $72.18. It immediately made an attack on the $70 level. I will continue to follow the resistance of $75 and $76 here, specifically for this week. It had risen up to $100,000. Now it is facing profit sales. I will be following the $64,500 to $67,500 range in the short term. The declines are not permanent in my opinion. Because there were levels that I mentioned about the end of this year, especially on the Bitcoin side, especially the $80,000 level. 2 months ago, the same prediction is valid on the Bitcoin side at the end of the year. He can try $80,000. Non-agricultural employment data will be announced in America on Friday. It is a very important data. Write it in your agenda for Friday. At 15.15, non-agricultural employment data is very important for global markets. Let's see which data we will focus on. Now I am looking at my agenda too. Yes, today is Germany. There's PPI data at 10 o'clock at 5, it is an important data. Fed President has a Pavel speech. This evening at 20 o'clock Turkey time, at 88 o'clock in the evening. There is Eurozone CPI at 12 o'clock. On Tuesday, again in America, there is AP. There is private sector employment on Wednesday at 15. I said on the 15th that all inflation data is very important data. It is very important for the domestic markets and the stock market on Thursday at 10. Non-agricultural employment data will be announced on Friday at 15.30. This will be a very important data for the global markets. Well, this week is a very busy week both in terms of data and statements. Will there be such a drastic fluctuation? Yes, there may be a partial fluctuation, but there will not be a drastic fluctuation. But we have started a busy week in terms of data, both on Wednesday and Friday. Well, it is important in the markets, that is the Fed President. Paul's speech tonight at 88 o'clock will be very important. The speeches of the President of the European Central Bank, Lagarde, will be very important, with the quality of the euro and the dollar and in his other videos. I gave you a warning. You will see, this partnership that they have been continuing for 4.5 years, which I call partnership, language partnership, opinion partnership, plan partnership, has been for 4.5 years. Starting from 2020, the central banks were of the same opinion, they were using the same language, they were continuing the same policy, but the interest rate reduction process started. As of September, the partnerships of the central banks are over. From now on, the policies of all central banks will be different, their operations will be different, interest rate decisions will be different, and those wars on the field will now spread to the central banks, and the central banks will continue to tease each other verbally. From now on, we will all see the confrontation of the central banks against each other in the headlines. Of course, the geopolitical tension in the Middle East is still ongoing because Israel wants a regional war. Developments in this region will be very important for the markets. But especially this week, profit sales and assets against the dollar will be a possible result. Again, this week will be a very busy week, and there will be very important developments. I make videos for you almost every day as much as I can. I explain the support levels and resistance levels of the updated prices. Well, this market is not about the positions of one person or three people. Every day, my friends get something new, an investment instrument or a position, some of whom have TL in their hands this week. Some people will get foreign currency this week. Some people have a job selling gold this week, some have a job selling silver, some have a job buying a house, and since millions of people have different positions every day, the story of each day will be different in investment instruments. The general picture is like this. I hope you all have a good week in advance. I wish you good work. I continue for you, your children and your family. Have a blessed week again.